my journey in becoming a mortgage lender. Let me tell you, I hope I can make this within 5 minutes because it's a lot of information and then I get off topic, guys. So my beginnings started back in 2010. I remember I telling my husband, you know what, I think it's time for me to go to work. By that time I was 23 years old at that time, and I had already 2 children. My son Mario, my oldest, who is now gonna be 18 pretty soon, and my daughter who is 15. So I had both of them already, and I was like, yeah, it's time for me to get to work. So I saw a position at a local bank for mortgage receptionist. I was like, I just need a job within the bank. My vision was bank. So never did I know that that was the beginning of my future career. So I was hired, and I'm very thankful for my mentor at that time, which was Miss Ichel Romero. If you're watching this, thank you so much for all your teachings, and thankful for everything that you did in my beginnings. I'm very grateful for it. You're an excellent lender, and thank you for showing me how each step and seeing what maybe at that time I didn't see about myself. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So I was there at Lone Star National Bank for about 6 to 7 years. I did various positions within that time frame. I know I got to do processing, which the processors, they're the ones who make it happen so they can clear conditions and send it to closing. Then I did lock desk. Lock desk was something that I was so afraid, guys. I was so afraid because it entails what the department makes, because it's based on the rate, making sure that you have the cushion correct and things like that, and being up to date every day as market changes. I did quality control, which was selling loans to the investors. That was something that I really liked, because it was selling the notes, making sure how much each sale was making for the department, and giving that cost breakdown to my supervisor. So from picking up all these skills, it helped me become who I am right now. Why? Because now I know as a lender what to expect. You know what? If this customer is doing this, I'm gonna need the following documentation, or eventually they're gonna be asking me for this. My files personally, they run smooth because of all the experience I've picked up from my back office positions within the mortgage department. So that has greatly helped me so much. After being there for 6 to 7 years and doing all those different positions, I was offered a job at Security Service Federal Credit Union, which I was there for about 2 years. I was there for 2 years, and it was there was this promo that everybody wanted that program. So I was seeing customers back to back from 8 to 5, back to back. It didn't give me time to go out and network, because it was really, there was no time for it. It was a very busy times for me, those 2 years. And eventually an ex-coworker reached out to me and saying that there was a position at International Bank, which is now Vantage Bank Texas, that if I was interested in working as a mortgage manager in the sales department, and took the opportunity, which it was something that I'm so grateful for, because it showed me the differences from being independent, from being in a team, the different personas that you work with, and how you have to work together. Because just because you don't think the same, it means it's not going to work. No, you just have to understand each other and make it work for the better of the teams, right? And of course, doing the commissions for the teams, meeting numbers, bringing new programs, doing presentations. So it was something that I'm so grateful for, because it showed me the other side of being a manager, from being independent, right? So then after being there, I think I was there for going on 3 years already, but it was February 28th, the last day of the month, guys. The last day of the month. And I get the surprise call in 2020, guys. Let me rephrase it. 2020 of February 28th. And it was very surprising for me because they called me from HR saying that my position is no longer available and that I was going to be laid off, and thanking me for their service, which I was in shock. Never did I expect this, but everything, guys, let me tell you, everything happens for a reason. And this was, for me, a testimony of it. It really does. When that happened, it was the last day of the month. I was heartbroken, right? I was heartbroken because I was not expecting this to happen. I got the license, my mortgage license, until 2020. And let me tell you why, even though I've been in the industry since 2010. So when you work with a mortgage, with a bank in the mortgage department, you're protected under the bank's umbrella. So you're not required to get a license. So it was just, as time went on, I always worked for banks. My 825, salary, commission. My plan was always, you know what, one day I'm gonna go independent. One day I wanna be self-employed, and I want to make this work for me so I have more time for my family, etc., etc. So guess what? It was not in my time. It was not in the time that I was thinking when I was gonna be ready. I was just so afraid of going from salary and commission to going 100% commission. So when that happened, you know what? I had to leave it to God, because it was for a reason, guys. It was truly for a reason. Because February 28, 2020, the next day, it was already March 1st. So by the 4th or 5th, I have a real estate license, which at that time I didn't have it active. I activated the license and I started working. I was like, okay, well, meanwhile, I'm gonna do this until I figure out what I'm gonna do, right? Maybe this was my thing, so I can get back into mortgage, to real estate. So then I think spring break came in, and guess what? The kids did not go back because COVID was already all over the news. Everybody shut down, go home. Real estate agents, for a while, they were home. There was no work at all because we didn't know what to expect. So the good thing about it is that when all that happened, it was the perfect time for me because I was with my children. Who was gonna take care of my kids if you didn't want to expose, in my personal opinion, I didn't want to expose my parents. I didn't want to expose, like, am I gonna take them to daycare and get exposed? Like, who was gonna take care of my kids while that was happening? So I was with my kids. Things started getting better towards the end of 2020. And I decided to get my mortgage license, which I was so proud of myself because I passed my mortgage license in the first try with, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was an 87. And the reason I tell you my score is because I'm very proud of it. Why? Because I'm not a good test taker. When I did my real estate test, it took me 3 tries. Sorry for my nail. And for me passing it the first time, but that told me that that's where my experience is, right? Mortgage lending. So from there, in October of 2020, I decided to work with a company called Eustace Mortgage, going 100% commission. And it's been the best thing I've ever done. I remember some past coworkers saying, Blanca, once you go this side, you're never gonna wanna work 8 to 5. And let me tell you guys, it's been the best thing I've ever done. And I'm so grateful because God put me to this position to be here, right? It was not on my time. It was in God's time that it said, you know what? No, it's time for you to move on. So I know at those times, it's like you can't comprehend, like, why did that happen to me? Why did that happen? But let me tell you, sometimes things are out there for you that is waiting for you, and it's the time to make a move. So I'm grateful for working for the company that I'm at. The reason I chose this company, Eustace Mortgage, locally is because for me, it's really important. 1, reputation. 2, cost. Right now with rates being high, I think it's really important that customers get at least some savings into their cost, right? And of course, the turn times for closing. So for me, all of that is very important. And I've been with this company, I'm already going on 3 years, if not mistaken. And I love it because as long as I have my computer and it has internet, I can work from anywhere in the world. So if you are in the market for buying or don't know where to start and just need some guidance, I am always here available, no matter if I'm in vacation, guys, because that's the beauty of my job, that it does not matter that I'm in vacations, because as long as I have signal, I'm there for you. But this is my journey. It's been since 2010, so what, 13 years in the industry of mortgage lending. This is all I've done. I got a certification in computerized accounting. I work for an accounting department. The beginning of my career, when I finished, I was like, no, this is not for me. I cannot work in silence. I need to talk to people. I guess that's the type of persona I am, that I like to talk to people, share news, educate. That's the reason where the Mortgage Educator has become my brand, because I like to inform clients about what's out there. And